Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our call this week. Thank you guys for joining. It is August 2nd, right? Oh my God. Yeah, August 2nd. So, brand new month. It's Cup Month. So, basically, I just wanted to share some ideas for how to totally crush it for Cup Month, as well as basically, using this opportunity to come up with ideas of how we should be running our businesses on a monthly basis, anyways. But it just so happens that it is Cup Month and we have some pretty fun prizes that we could win, if we achieve a certain amount of points by a certain date. But regardless, as always, this is about changing lives, helping people, connecting with people, building relationships. And this is the type of opportunity where we want to expand and get a little bit more comfortable and talk to more people than we maybe normally do and see where that takes us. So, a few things that I've been learning from videos that I've watched, whether it's on the Beachbody Champions page or, bits from Summit when they were talking about it, things like that, is this. So number one is planning your month. So I don't do this nearly enough, so I really want to do it this month. And like I said, months moving forward. But when things like, and I posted this in the group earlier this morning, like, when are your challenge groups going to start? What's the start date? When's the prep week? When are your free groups? When are you having a sneak peek? Like things like that. Like, set a date and then start talking about it and inviting to it and letting people know, like, this is starting at this time. Or in your posts, inviting people and saying, my next group starts on this date. Like, you should totally join us. You can use words like deadline to join is this date, just to make sure that you have all the stuff that you're going to need so you can participate with us and start with us at the right time. But it basically, not only does it give you something to invite to, which is obviously super important, because if you want to be inviting, you need to invite to something. But it also gives other people kind of a deadline. Because you know how, like, sometimes if you want to get something, but you're like, oh, well, do I need to do it now? And you're like, not really sure. But then, like, a group is starting on this date. You hype up your group. Maybe if you have one going right now, start talking about the successes that people are having. Get people excited and wanting to join your next group. And then giving them a deadline, like deadline to join so that you're starting on time with us is this date. Like, reach out to me or like this post or whatever. Like, you guys know the call to action things that you want to have in every post. But having dates set is important for that, for a deadline for you to invite to, for a deadline for people to join by. And it also kind of like forces you to be taking action. Like, okay, if my group's starting on this date, like, if I don't start inviting now, then I'm not going to have anybody to join me. So it's helpful to push you guys, not you guys, us in general, outside of our comfort zones a little bit, because inviting can oftentimes be the hardest thing to do. So if you have a deadline for yourself and you really want to help these people, and then you have a deadline to invite them to, it's going to push you to invite people versus having the excuse in the back of your mind, oh, I can put it off. Oh, I don't have anything to invite to yet, so it's okay. I don't need to be doing that. No, you have a date. It's starting at this time, so you need to be inviting people. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was how I want to remind you guys that we have the Join Our Tribe sneak peek group. I was going to message the people who did the videos in that, like Laura, you, Lauren, and Danielle. I think were the main ones. And then some people popped in there to share their stories. But I wanted to ask everybody, do we feel comfortable leaving what we've already done, or do we want to delete and redo? So that is a conversation we can have, off the side. But regardless, there are videos in there that have some of our stories that we shared, and that have some really great videos on, what a coach is, what they aren't, talking about earning money, talking about a day in the life of a coach, and what's next, meaning like sharing with them how they would want to start with a challenge pack, start their own journey, be proof the products work, and all that stuff. So those videos are in there. We can redo them if we want to, but that doesn't mean we can't still invite people to that. So this is kind of awesome having this group. Part of the reason why we did it this way is because there's never a time when you can't invite somebody to it. So if you ever come across someone who you think would be an awesome coach, then say to them, like, oh my God, I think you really love what I'm doing. Like, let me just pop you into this sneak peek really quick, watch the videos and let me know what you think. Let me, let's see if this might be something that you would like to do. Having that group there with the videos in it constantly, whether or not we have a system where we're going to repeat them, but regardless, we're going to keep that group open. So we just want to keep adding people to it. So you never have to wait for an actual nighttime sneak peek or a 3-day sneak peek. Like, it's in there. So that's really valuable if you think about that, because you can always be inviting to the sneak peek because it's there. And, we can decide if we want to redo the videos, but regardless, they're in there right now. They're really good videos. I think we actually did like an awesome job for our first time. So those videos in there are really freaking good. So don't be afraid to ask someone. Like, if you have a challenger right now who's totally rocking it, then reach out to them and say, oh my God, you are killing it in this group. You're so motivating. You're encouraging other people. You're showing up every day. Like, you're practically doing what I do as far as like sharing my journey. Like, have you ever thought of doing what I do? Like, I have this sneak peek. Why don't I pop you in there real quick and see, and you can watch the videos and see if this is something you might want to do. Like, you can do that for a challenger. You can do that if you see somebody posting. Oh, we can add you, Ashley. If you see someone who is on Instagram or on Facebook and they are sharing their fitness journey, but they're not a coach, then you can reach out to them and ask, like, oh my God, you're so inspiring on your page. Are you a coach too? And see what they say. And if they say no, then you can say, well, dude, you would totally love what I'm doing. Like, I have a sneak peek. It explains how the business works. Why don't I add you into that so you can see if this is something you would like to do? Like, don't overcomplicate it. And like, I am a chronic overcomplicator. So I don't know about you guys, but it's literally just as simple as getting over the fear inside of you of asking these questions and just throwing it out there, because worst that can happen is they say no. And at least you planted that little seed, and then they might start watching you more. And if you're posting, I totally am sounding like Haley right now, sorry, but if you're posting like a boss, like she says, and you're sharing your journey and you're inviting to your groups and, talking about coaching and stuff, like, this person that you asked who maybe said no to you is going to be paying attention to you. And then they might reach out sometime and be like, hey, listen, I actually might want to join that sneak peek, or might want to join one of your groups and see what it's like. Stuff like that. So backing up, print out a calendar of August, set dates for the start of your groups. And side note, I'm not trying to say that every single one of us has to have a separate group. We can join forces. Like, Danielle and I have an awesome group going right now for the Shift Shop. And we have a round 2 that we're starting on August 14th. Our prep week, I always almost say that wrong. Prep week is going to start on the 7th, and we're going to do that separately because basically we have the 21 days are ending. Hang on, let me look at this calendar. Our 21 days end on the 13th. So round 2 for us starts on the 14th. So we can't really do a prep week in the middle of a group that's going on, because that would get way too confusing. So we're going to do a prep week in a totally separate group, and then add all those people in on that Sunday to start on Monday. And then the people who did round 1 are going to do round 2. The people who are starting round 1 are going to start. So we're kind of all going to be somewhat on the same page, even though round 2 is different than round 1. But anyway. So if you don't have a group and you do not feel comfortable doing one on your own, that's totally okay. Reach out to either Danielle or I, or if somebody else in our team has a group going, or if somebody, if you have a success partner, start a group with them. Or if you're in Fit Mama and there's somebody in that team that you really connect well with, like, ask if they want to start a group with you, or do it by yourself. Whatever you want to do, just do not have a group to invite to, especially this month. And also doing a free group. Like, right now we are doing the free week 1 Shift Shop. I can't believe I haven't said shit yet, by the way. Just throwing that out there. I have not accidentally done it, but I've come close a lot. But anyway, we're doing that free group with that meal plan and having people do 25 minutes of cardio a day. And the group seems to be going well, so we may do another week next week. So like if you want to invite people to that, you can invite to that, or you can do your own group and I can share like what we're doing in it. And also the sneak peek, like we don't have to wait for a date for that. Like Candace is doing, I believe, weekly webinars for the business opportunity. So obviously feel free to invite to that as well. But we do have our sneak peek. There are videos in there. We haven't taken them down to repeat them yet. So use that. Invite people to that who you feel would really be good for the business. And while we're talking about that, make sure when you talk about the business with someone that you don't make it sound like it's easy, because it's not. I don't want you to like, you know, tell them, oh my God, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, you don't want to scare people away. But, you know, when you're talking about the business with people, just make sure, and I'm pretty sure we did a good job of explaining this in the videos in our sneak peek, but just make sure that you're explaining to them, like, this isn't easy. It's not like a get rich quick. It's, you know, you do have to put the work in, but the reward, like the best part about this business is your success is a direct reflection of the amount of lives that you change. Like you literally cannot be successful as a Beachbody coach if you're not helping people change their lives, whether it's with the programs in Shakeology or with the business opportunity. Like it's actually impossible. So we get rewarded by helping people. And like, what other businesses like that? Seriously. So that's really cool. But just make sure that you're not giving people like a false belief that, you know, as soon as they start sharing about it, like people are going to come to them and they're going to make a lot of money. And I hope I'm making sense when I say that. But I do remember talking about that in our sneak peek. So ideally people will watch the videos and, you know, there are going to be people who you pop in there who never do anything with it. But then you're going to find someone who's going to be excited, who's going to go into that sneak peek, who's going to watch every single video, and who's going to be like, sign me up. It's rare, but it happens. And these are the people that we want to find. And that's why we need to be having more conversations, building more relationships, posting like a boss, inviting people to our challenge groups, our free groups, our sneak peeks, all that stuff. That is the only way you're going to find these people. Because we're all those people. Whether you maybe started slowly, like with the discount or with just a workout. Like for me, the first workout I ever bought was on Amazon. This was before I like understood any of this. This was like back in 2008. But like, that's how I started. And if I never bought that, when I was asked to join, I probably would have been like, what the heck is Beachbody? But I already knew. And that's how I got into it. But when I started as a coach, I was like Zoom. I was like in it. But not everybody is like that. But for us, once we had that moment and we realized we wanted to do it, like we were in it and we were, you know, diving into personal development and into trainings and sharing our journeys and stuff like that. But not everybody's like that. So we want to find the people who are like us to do this with us. So that's planning your month. What else did I want to say? Oh, tracking your business. So all of you guys are in our group for the cup, right? I'm pretty sure. Okay. So I shared some unconventional, like not Beachbody created, but still really good business activity trackers, basically in another form, but that's pretty much what it is. Beachbody, our Coach Online Office has one. There, you could probably Google it and find like all different kinds, but basically, excuse me, I want you guys to look at the ones that I shared, look at the one that's in our Coach Online Office. If none of those are clicking with you, like keep finding one until you find one that you like. If you don't like any of them, then suck it up and find one that you'll do. And start tracking your business for a number of reasons. Number one, when you track it, be honest, first of all. Like maybe like the first time you do it, just print one out and go through your day. And at the end of the day, look back at it and see the things that you naturally do versus the things that you naturally don't do. Because the really good thing about these trackers is that they are going to show you your weakest spots of your business, which is good to know. It's kind of hard to swallow sometimes, but it's really good to know where you're lacking as far as business activities go. Because if you're not doing certain business activities, then your business isn't going to grow. The good thing about these trackers is they have all of the daily activities that we should be doing. So if you're not doing certain ones of those, or if you're not doing them enough, then it's going to open your eyes to basically show you the reasons why your business isn't growing, basically. Can be really hard to, be honest with yourself and realize like, oh my God, I suck at this part. Like there were a lot of things I wasn't doing until I started tracking, and it's like I knew I wasn't doing them, but I wasn't making as big of a deal about it because I was like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this. So like those are really good. But when you see it on paper, it's kind of like, oh, holy crap. Like, I guess I really do need to start doing that more. And that explains why I'm where I'm at, if you know what I mean. So, and the cool thing about these trackers that I shared, I don't actually know who made them, but they're different. So one of them, of course, it's not the one that I just found. Oh no, here it is. One of them has you tracking compliment and run, which is a good prompt for you to just, be going through your Facebook, see a friend that's not a coach yet, and go to their Facebook page and either comment on something, not likes don't count. So you got to either comment on something or private message them and compliment them about something, and then run. So like what they mean by compliment and run is like literally all you're going to do is say, hey, oh my God, I love your like shoes in this picture. Like, where did you get them? Or whatever. Like, basically non-fitness, Beachbody, health, whatever related, totally separate. Just compliment somebody and like leave the conversation as is. So that's basically a creative way of starting a new conversation is what it is. But it's a good idea to think of it as like, oh, making a compliment to somebody, like that's cool. Another one is thank you for your support. So that prompts you to remember like, oh, I posted earlier today about whatever. Go back, see who liked and commented on it, and private message them and thank them for the support. Some other ones like keeping track of who your new clients are and following up with previous people. And okay, another really valuable thing about tracking your business. Okay, so you're going to write down like this one says add friends. So what friends did you add? You're going to write these people down. And the cool thing about that is like a week or two from now, go back to this first week of the month. Who did you friend request? Go to their page, start commenting or liking on things. Like this is so you don't lose track of people. Another thing is post likes and comments. If you're writing down who you're doing that for, again, a week or two from now, go back, look at your list and say, oh, I haven't actually started a conversation with this person. At that time now, you can private message them and start a conversation because you've started to build a relationship through liking and commenting on their pictures. New conversations. Who did you start new conversations with a week or two ago? If you're not tracking that, you're not going to know. So you can go back and look and see, who am I talking to? Oh, okay. I haven't heard from them in a little while. I'm going to, message them again, ask them how they're doing. Like it's basically just a really solid way of not allowing people to fall through the cracks. And I'm not saying that we need to be perfect at this. If you guys miss a day or, aren't really in the groove of tracking your business yet, that's totally fine, but you have to start somewhere. So these are really great examples for, learning how to track your business and getting into the habit of it. And one of the things that they talked about, I'm pretty sure it was either at Summit or one of the videos through the Beachbody Champions page, is like, I'm pretty sure for everybody, the hardest thing for us to do as coaches is to invite. Like it can be awkward and uncomfortable, talking to people and inviting them to things, whatever. So, but there's a reason why you need to be doing this every single day. If it's really uncomfortable for you right now, it's never going to get comfortable for you until you start consistently doing it. And the only way to consistently do it is to do it. So, using this tracker, if you're like, this was me the other day, I ran out of the house. I was like, I woke up early to try and do stuff. And what do you think is blank? the invite section. I didn't freaking invite anybody that day, but this was the day I was leaving for Martha's Vineyard, so I didn't have time to. But regardless, that's empty. Like, ugh, that's like one of the most important things to do. So basically what this told me was the first thing I should do every day is just invite. Because otherwise, I know myself, and I'm going to try and protect myself because inviting scares me. And I'm going to do everything else, and I'm going to, it's going to be the end of the day, and I don't have all my invites filled out, and I'm either not going to do them, or I'm going to like half-ass it and do like 2 or 3 because I'll tell myself it's too late at this point. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys' brains work that way, but mine certainly does. So it helps you understand what is your frog? What is the, Eat That Frog book, if you guys have read it or listened to it. What do you need to do first? That's the scariest or the most uncomfortable thing for you to do. Do that first and then do the other stuff. And eventually, if you're consistent with these types of business activities, it's going to come natural to you. You're not even going to think about it. Your power hour is going to get more and more efficient. You're going to be quicker at it. You're going to be better at it. You're going to feel more confident at it. You're not going to care as much the responses you get or what other people think because it becomes a part of your life. But if it's not at that point right now, then that means you need to be doing it much, much more than you are. And it also means that you shouldn't be adding other things on your plate yet. Get comfortable doing the vital behaviors before you start trying to be fancy with other things, whether it's, doing trainings or trying to come up with like these cute, like crazy graphics, like all those things that you really want to do that are fun and that take up a lot of time and that might make your posts look pretty. Don't do those until you've done your vital behaviors. And I'm talking to myself right now, by the way, but these are the habits that we need to get ourselves into so that we're getting comfortable doing the business activities that we know we need to do every single day. And then once you're more confident in that, once you're more efficient in doing those things, and as your business is growing and you're gaining momentum, then you can start to get fancy. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I totally brain farted and can't remember what else I wanted to say. Hang on. Lauren actually shared some really good tips in our group. I don't know if you guys watched her video, but if you have a long drive to and from work, like obviously that's a great opportunity to listen to personal development, but using the voice messenger app for Facebook Messenger, like the voice part, I don't know, what is it called? The microphone thingy. Messaging people with that. Do that while you're driving. And I actually commented because I tried this the other day. Hang on, I lost you guys now. I'm on my page. I tried this the other day, but I was scrolling to find the person I wanted to voice memo. And I couldn't find them. And then I was like, okay, I feel like I'm going to get in a car accident trying to do this. So when she was talking about that, I was like, how do you do that? Because I felt like I was, it was just as bad as texting because I'm like looking down trying to find who I want to talk to. And she had a good point how when you are, well, I guess I only know this works for iPhones. I don't know if this works for Android, but you can use the voice text thing. So like instead of typing it out, hit the little microphone and then you can say a word or a name and then they might pop up. So try that. Try this while you're not driving, by the way, at first so that it's like gonna work. And if you don't feel safe doing it, don't do that. I'm not gonna, I don't want anyone getting hurt, but people do this. If you can find a way to make it work and make it easy, you can do that for sure. Another thing that Candace shared was treat each month like it's only 15 days, which I thought was really smart, especially if you are someone who's working a spouse account or a significant other's account. Split the month up into 2 sections. So if you're just working on your own account, try your hardest, push really hard the first 15 days of the month so that you're hitting Success Club, at least SC5. But if you want your goal to be higher, make it higher. And I completely encourage going higher than what you're comfortable with, because it's going to force you to talk to more people. It's a ratio game when we know this. But try and get it before the 15th. If you don't get it before the 15th, obviously it's fine. You have another 15 plus days of the month to lock it in. But this ensures that you're doing more activity in the beginning of the month, which will give you a better chance of hitting it by the end of the month if you don't by the 15th. But at least you're locking it in and you're not sitting here on the last day of the month panicking and potentially messaging people and sounding salesy. Because I've totally done that in the past and I hate that. And that's where I was a couple of days ago. I could have started messaging people and saying, I'm going to give you this, or I'll give you this refund or whatever. But I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I don't want to put that gross taste in my mouth, and I don't want to put that in anyone else's mouth. So I gave it up and I did not hit Success Club last month. I probably wouldn't have anyways if I started messaging people like that, but let's just try to avoid putting ourselves in that type of situation, which is why it's helpful to push yourself really hard in the beginning of the month to try and hit it before the 15th. And again, if you don't, at least the momentum that you started in the beginning will make it higher, give you a higher chance of hitting it by the end of the month. And if you're working a spouse account, work theirs the first 15 days, get them to Success Club, and then work. But this is, depends on where you're at and if that's what you're doing. Like us that have the misters on a cup team, like that's a strategy that we can use if we want to. And the reason behind that is saving your own for last, because you want to be hitting Success Club in your own account for business growth. And it just kind of puts more pressure on you, I guess, to hit it yourself at the end of the month. I mean, if you get your spouse's account to Success Club before the 15th, that gives you more time. But like your account is the number one, obviously. Like our own personal accounts are our priority. So if we save us for last, then we're going to, more often than not, or what the mentality should be is that you're going to do what it takes to get it done for you. So if you, put theirs first, get it done there, and then at your own, versus the other way around where, maybe you'll hit Success Club in yours if you do yours first. And then you're going to think, well, it's just my husband's account or my significant other's account. Like I don't have to hit it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'm explaining that right, but I hope that makes sense. Yeah, setting your goal high is going to make you push yourself harder. Posting like a boss. I mean, go into that group too, because I shared all of this earlier, but your Facebook, the way that you post, like everything that you share, like your Facebook is your storefront. So, and I know you guys hear this all the time, but it matters what you post, the way you post it, what you share, like all of that stuff is attracting your people to you. And you don't want to just be sharing that you're drinking a shake and doing a workout. Like you want to make sure people know that you're there to help them. So you have to be posting as if you're sharing that part of it. Like, talk about when your next group is and, say, message me privately or comment below if you want more information, or talking about the business and how your life has changed since you started and inviting people to the sneak peek. Like, you don't have to have an invite with literally every single one of your posts, and you don't want all of your posts to be just about fitness, Shakeology, the business or whatever. You want to share your life too. But just make sure it's well known that you're there to help people, because, sharing your personal journey can inspire someone to start, but do they know that you can help them? You want to make sure that people know that. And that's what it means when you like post like a boss, like basically making sure people know like, oh, she holds groups, like, oh, I could work with her. Like, that's really cool. Or, sharing how your groups go and stuff like that. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Does anyone have any other ideas or suggestions or questions? No. But yeah, I mean, I just think this is a really good opportunity for us to get uncomfortable now so that we can become comfortable doing these types of activities. And I know all of us have our own goals as far as, the business and income goals and where we want to go with this business. But I do feel like more and more of us want more and more out of this business. And I just want to make sure people understand, if that's what you want, that means you have to do more. And not meaning like this is suddenly going to consume your life. Like, there is a way to make it so that you can become more efficient in doing the daily business activities so that it doesn't become your life. But we have to get comfortable doing things now to get to that point. If it's something that takes you a while now, it's probably because you're not comfortable doing it. You have to maybe gain the courage, or you have to really question, oh, do I want to message that person? Do I not? These are things that I struggle with. It takes me a while to get through all the daily activities because I hold myself back more often than I don't, but the more you do it, the faster you're going to be, the less you're going to care, the more confident you're going to be. And your confidence shows in the way you talk to people. And in turn, that's going to, attract more people to you. So that's why it's so important to, find ways to get all the business activities done and track it. Seriously, I think if anything, I want you guys with this month, with, cup month and, being excited about that, I want you tracking. So again, go into that page, look at the trackers, find the one that you like and start using it, because that is what's going to really show you what you're strong in and what you're maybe not so strong in. And then you need to even those out and make sure you're getting everything done. And we're just going to kill it this month. And this is good. It's going to build momentum for us to basically end the year. We're going to end the year so good if we can really crush it this month, get that momentum and keep it going. And I think that's all I get. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. If you don't have any questions, I feel like it's so much later than 9:14 right now. I know we're all
I'm so tired.
God. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much. You rock. And I'll talk to you later. And then tomorrow night at 8 p.m. is the Power Hour, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. That's going to be fun. Yay. All right. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.